This is a question from one of your calculus classmates. This is from chapter 1. Find an expression for a cubic function f if these conditions are given. F of 3 equals to 48 and f of negative 1 equals to f of 0 equals to f of 4 is equal to 0. Well, the first question to ask is, what is a cubic function? A cubic function, visually speaking, is a function in which it crosses the x-axis how many times? Well, the key word is cubic. Cubic means 3. So it crosses the x-axis 3 times. So if I was to visually think about this problem, I'm going to draw a graph that crosses the x-axis 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And these are the points that we call the zeros. It crosses the x-axis at these points. And these are our 3 zeros. And this is what we call x1, x2, and x3. And the reason why it's called the zeros is because this is where the y value is equal to 0. So if you look at what's given to us, at x is equal to negative 1, 0, and 4, the y value is 0. So these are indeed the zeros of this cubic function. For this, so in this problem specifically, our graph is going to look like this. So when x is equal to negative 1, when x is equal to 0, and when x is equal to 4, that's where it crosses the x-axis. So here, I'm going to just draw a graph that might look something like this, right? So this is the cubic function that we are working with. It has the zeros right there because of this condition that's met. So what is the formula for cubic function? The formula for cubic function is f of x is equal to a, so that's some constant, some number, times x minus x1, that's the root. The zeros are the root. I should say 0 or root. That's those words are interchangeable. X minus x1, which is the first root, x minus x2, which is the second root, and x minus x3, which is the third root. So since it's a cubic function, there's going to be 3 roots, so that's why it goes up to 3. All right, so now I'm going to just plug it in, what I do know. So what I plug in is that I have f of x is equal to, I don't know what this constant is, but we'll find out later. So x minus blank, and x minus blank, right? So what goes in the blank? The root goes in the blank. So we know that the one of the roots is negative 1. So x minus a negative 1, x minus 0, right there, and x minus 4, right there. Okay, and just to make this look a little bit more simple, I'm going to say f of x is equal to a times x plus 1, change the minus to the plus. X minus 0 is simply just x. X minus 4 is x minus 4. There. So next, we need to find out what a is. So find a. So we need to find out what a is in order to complete this problem, because the question is asking us to find an expression for a cubic function. We need to find out what a is. So to find out what a is, we are given another piece of clue. So that clue is f of 3 is equal to 48. That means when the x value is 3, the y value is 48. So I'm going to plug in 3 for my x's, and 48 will be the y value, or the function right there. So I'm going to have 48 is equal to, so a is what I don't know. Inside here I have, instead of x, I'm going to call it 3, right? 3 plus 1 is x again, which is the 3, and then 3 minus 4. So when I simplify this, I get 48 is equal to a times 4 times 3 times negative 1. In other words, 48 is equal to negative 12a. In other words, a is equal to negative 4. So now that I know what my a is, I can plug it back into this original expression of this cubic function. I'm going to get f of x is equal to negative 4 times x plus 1 times x minus 4. And that is the equation, or the expression, of a cubic function that meets these conditions above.